watching the Shakaama live show. So this video is called Dear Black Woman, Marry Up, Not Down. Hypergamy. It's the process of marrying up. For a woman to marry up, or a man to marry up. But when a man marries up, he marries into a family that is higher than his station. A woman marries a man who is higher than her station. Although to these days, I guess you could have a man that marries a rich woman, and then there's a lot of pushback on that. Oh, a man can't marry a rich woman. Well, he wouldn't be a man. There's a lot of this going on of what's a real man? That's not a real man. You need to be a real man. There's no such thing. There's absolutely no such thing. A man is a man. If he has a penis, he's a man. That's it. That's the definition of a real man. Oh, I'm sorry. If he was born with a penis and not a vagina, he is a real man. There you go. There is a definition of a real man. None of this stuff about if he acts a certain way, or if he pays certain bills, or if he has certain jobs. Every man is a real man. And that you would have it in your head that a real man, and here's the point of the video, isn't it? Marry up, not down. Your whole concept of this is a real man, that is where you start getting in trouble. This is a real man. He can fight. He defends me. Those days are over. They went over with the sword. Trust me. After the sword was put down and done and pretty much permanently done with, and people started getting guns, the whole concept of a real man and defending it, that went out the window. This message is to black women. Marry up, not down. You need to, first of all, you need to be married. Black people, uncategorically, across the board, need to get married. Why? Because the statistics say if a black person gets married, they're pushed into an entirely new, different category. Economically, financially, futuristically. Everything about a black person changes, male or female, when they get married. And if you say, I don't know if I'm gonna get married. I don't know. I don't feel. No, that's not you. Sorry to tell you. You're not Asian. You're not Jewish. You're not white. I know you want to assimilate, and black people have assimilated entirely too much. That's the problem with us. We don't have a community. We're trying to adopt the white community, the Asian community, the Jewish community, and we don't have the structure, the financial structure, the business structure, the wealth base to try and assimilate into something that we're not. This isn't a thing of divide, oh, you're just being divisive. No, this is reality. I'm based in reality. I'm based in practicality. The practical, logical black man says, I am not equal to these other communities. Black woman, your community is not equal to those other communities. Those other women can go shopping. Those other women can sit at home. They can get their nails done every week. They can get their hair done every week. They can have a private yoga instructor. True story. They have the wealth base for it. I'm mainly, of course, talking to the lower class black woman. And that's not a thing of calling you an immoral whore or anything. I'm talking about economically. I'm talking to the lower class woman. Marry up. You can, in a single swoop, escape your entire paradigm of being poor just by marrying the right guy. Now, how are you going to marry up? You have to present yourself in such a fashion that a richer man is going to be happy to have you. Cooking, cleaning, mending clothes, doing housework, That's not 20th century woman. I'm sorry, you're not a white woman. Get it through your head. And this isn't a question of white is better. I'm talking economics. We have to build the basis first, and the basis says a woman is only worth what she can bring to the table. A man is not looking for you to bring money to the table. He's not. Clue phone. Shocker. And a black man definitely isn't looking for a woman that brings money to the table. And I'm not talking about she can't help pay the bills. I'm talking about that he's not looking for you to pay all the bills, to pay all the restaurant outings, to pay for all the dates, to pay for all the card note in the house. He's not looking for that. That's not what he's looking for. If you want a real man, that's not what he's looking for. He's looking for you to bring to the table stuff that he doesn't want to do, to make him feel good, and to make him feel appreciated. Cooking. What black man do you know who does not want a black woman that can cook? Who can lay a spread before him? What black man do you know? I don't know any. And I'm a black man. And I cook. And I clean. And I mend clothes. I do laundry. I do gardening. I do all of that stuff. And I do it at a professional level even. I can tear down this whole house and rebuild it. And decorate it. So yeah, when I get married, she's gonna have to bring some astonishing skills to the table, stuff that I've never seen before, right? Because I can do everything that most normal women can, huh? So my wife is gonna have to be like a superwoman, plus seductress, plus Venus herself, right? She's gonna have to be Aphrodite herself, black version. I don't have those gods on the top of my head. Yes, but Mary, what are you going to bring to the table? Cooking, cleaning, darning, sewing, keeping the house, keeping the kids, pleasant conversation. Ooh, pleasant conversation. Never an aggressive demeanor, because that is the realm of men. You want to marry up? I'm teaching you how to marry up. You want to be all like this? That's marrying down. Because as soon as a wealthy black man is going to see you go, well, or what you gonna do, nigga? That is his exit, stage left. And if you think that that's just being you, then stay with your homeboy. Stay with your homies. Stay in your poor neighborhood. Get knocked up by 12 different Negroes. Because that's your fate. Watch the film, I believe, La Femme Nikita. Watch what they do to her. She's a killer, but they make her into this complete flower. She was a rough diamond, right? She was a diamond in the rough. And they polished her off. They polished all the turd off of her. She could speak languages. She knew art. She knew cooking. Oh! She knew how to cook like a chef. She wore dresses. Yes, you need to own as many dresses as you own shorts and pants. Dresses should equal your number of shorts and pants. A man likes to see a woman look like a lady. Marry up. Quit with the I want a guy I love. That's not marriage. That actually is not marriage. Marriage is a coming together, right? Because that's what the word means, right? A coming together, and it's actually a coming together of families. In this day and age, the woman has to bring something to the table other than money. Yeah, you can go out and get a job. You can go to school. You can get a master's degree, PhD, and bring it to the table. This is what I have. That's not what he's marrying you for. The whole breast and vagina thing, that's what he's marrying for. And what does that mean? That means he's looking for something soft, curvaceous, nice looking, nice. My better half. Why do the men say that's your better half? Because that's the half of you that's pretty and nice and poised and ladylike and cares for the children and are nurturing. Marry up, not down. If more black women had it in their head, this is a conversation that your parents should have had with you. This is a conversation that your mother is supposed to have with you. But a lot of you don't have mothers that are good for nothing to begin with. Let's call a spade a spade. A lot of you have mothers that are good for nothing, who have done nothing but teach you the hate that she has in her life because she messed up and she didn't marry up. What did she do? She married sideways, or she married down. Or she didn't marry at all, right? And she's the one that had 15 children by 12 different Negroes. This is a conversation your mother should have had with you. Marry up and present yourself as a package with a red ribbon around it. That's what a man wants. That's what a wealthy man wants. Now these Negroes, oh, I'm sagging, I got swagger, holla, whatever. You know what? It's time out for that. Those are zeros. You need to get with a hero. Somebody who preferably works on Wall Street. I'm talking about your life, your family, your children. Oh, he's cute. And what does he bring to the table? That's what you have. What do you bring to the table? Oh, you can't get in this. You don't bring anything to the table. There's no future in you. You have to make those decisions too. When I say marry up, first you have to determine what's up. Is there a future with this Negro? No? Then there's definitely no sex. I mean, I'm a practical guy. I'm a Capricorn. I will tell you like it is. You have to get with a Negro that has a future. And you don't give it up on the first attempt, right? This is a conversation that your mom should have had with you, right? Marry up. I mean, and if we're talking about women being the backbone of the black community, which is the exact opposite. Men are the backbone of the black community. Don't get it twisted, first of all. But you are the gateway. You're the gateway. I'll say you're the gateway, right? Your vagina, your uterus is the gateway to the black community building itself up. The man sits on top and thus saith the Lord, thus I saith to thee, this is how we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take that hill. You're the gateway. So if you are respectful of yourself, respectful of your body, and you don't lay with dogs, right? Then the black community is only going to go where? Up. Up. Yes, it starts with you. But if you have if every black woman today saw this video and said, you know what, he's right. I'm gonna marry up and I'm gonna be respectful of my body. I'm not gonna lay with dogs. What would happen to the black community? And I'm not talking about other people's opinion. I'm talking about internally what would happen with the black community. I say we don't have one. But if you do not lay with dogs, and you can be a dog yourself, I said polish the turd. Polish the turd. If you're a turd and you know you're a turd, and you know if you're a turd, there's nowhere but up for the black community. If all of our turds were super polished and you never let it out that you're a turd, none of this came out. Right? None of the head wagging and the hip swiveling and the what you gonna do, nigga? You ain't nothing, nigga. If none of that came out, you wouldn't be a turd. You're only a turd because you act like a turd. If you never act like a turd, are you a turd? No. And you understand what I mean. I don't curse. You understand what I mean by turd, right? If you're good for nothing, a good for nothing woman, and you never act like a good-for-nothing woman, if you never act like you have attitude, if your husband, says to you, honey, please give me a glass of water, and you go get it yourself. That's a turd. I'm not saying he's paying you to go get a glass of water. He's not your employer, he's your husband. Don't act like a turd, number one. Determine what's up. Is it the guy that makes, you should, by definition, only strive for a Negro that makes $60,000 and more. Yeah, that leaves out guys that make $30,000. What would happen if black women only dated and married, because that's the end result, right? And married black men that made $60,000 or more? What would happen? Overnight, black men would make $60,000 and more. You get my logical progression here? So you should shoot for a guy that makes $60,000 or more. You should hang out where black men who make $60,000 and more hang out. Number one, right? You can't marry a guy that you never meet. So you have to first meet him. You have to hang out with a guy. I mean, this, you weren't expecting an in-depth conversation like this, but we're gonna go for it. This is what your mom should have told you. You're gonna hang out where guys who make $60,000 and more hang out. If that happens to be the country club, you better get an invitation to the country club somehow. If that's the opera, you better get an invitation to the opera somehow. And when I say invitation, get an invitation, you're a woman. Make it happen, right? You have your womanly ways of getting into places for free. Make it happen and make it happen for the benefit of yourself. Not girls' night out drinking. That actually doesn't benefit you. That benefits the club. Because when men see a whole bunch of women at a club, they flock to the club and then they spend money at the club. It's the men that they're trying to get. You get in free because you're not really worthy of catering to. It's the men they're trying to cater to. Because invariably men walk through the door who make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000, $300,000. And they'll drop $500 in one shot. And not on women, just in alone with their buddies. Just like you show up with your girlfriends and you get in for free, they show up with their guy friends and they spend lots of money. They keep the club going. How can a business offer something for free to a segment and not to the other segment? Why does the one segment get in free? Because you're not what they're trying to get. So use your feminine wiles to get into the opera, to get into the ballet, to get into the, those are boring. You know what? Make this your job to marry up. That's what you should be doing. If you're under the age of 40, you should make this your job. If you're under the age of 40 and not married. And I'm not telling how a guy on the side, because that's a turd. We're beyond that, right? You're no longer a turd, right? I'm polishing you. If you adhere to what I say, you're being polished. So you're hanging out at the opera, the ballet, the library. The library is easy. There's a lot of public libraries that have very upscale types of shindigs for free. And people don't go to them because that's boring. But you have your little sidekick, you and your girlfriend, you go to all of these things, get in for free, and mingle and network and find out, you know what? We actually don't look down upon women who do things, who go out of their way to find a decent mate. We don't. And that's not being aggressive or whatever. That's being conscious. Conscious that you're a female, conscious that you want to marry up, conscious that you do not want to live in poverty. Live worrying about bills. Oh, Mom, can I have the super size? No, honey, I can't afford that 60 cents more. Huh? Not having to worry about that. Honey, we get a water softener in the house? Are you crazy? Money doesn't grow on trees. Not having to have those conversations. Not having to have the stress of money or the lack of in your life. Imagine that for a second. So you go out and you get, a lot of black women are so angry at the Asian women and the white women who scoop up these black guys who make $100,000 or more. But all the while, they don't act like these white and Asian women who are married to these black guys. Honey, would you like a glass of water? Here you go, honey, and I've cooked you a 4-course meal. That's what a man wants. He doesn't want this. He doesn't want this in his face every 2 seconds. He doesn't need the stress. And he's a black man, he's already stressed. What's the number one killer of black men? Heart disease, which we know is caused by stress. And they said that black men are the most stressed in the entire country. And I'm not talking about just police, I'm talking about life in general. It's hard to be a black man in the labor force. Last hired, first fired. It's true, I've been through it. I've been through it myself. That's why I don't work for anybody anymore. I'm out of that crap. You feel what? We just don't think it's gonna work. Why? You're gonna fire me, the guy with the best elocution of the most professional guy in your entire staff? Really? You're gonna fire? Oh, whatever. This couldn't possibly be because I'm black, right? That couldn't possibly be it. I have a resume better than yours. You don't feel threatened at all? No, that's not it. That couldn't possibly be it. I could actually own the building. That's not possibly it. It's hard to be a black man. So a black man doesn't need all the stresses. They don't need a woman shaking her head and wagging her finger and getting up all in his. No, what is that? That's a man. He wants that Asian. Why do men in general, white men included, why do they want that Asian chick? Because she caters to him. And we're not talking about you're being his slave. We're not talking about you're disgusting. This is the guy that opens doors for you. Huh? He makes sure that the chair is nice and comfortable for you. He buys you beautiful clothes. Everybody wants to look at, oh, it's the patriarchy, it's keeping women down. First of all, black women, you're not a part of that. Don't be confused by that crap at all. But that message only looks at from the woman perspective, and it looks at it from a negative. I'm not going to be serving no man, getting him water and feeding him and cooking him and wiping dirty diapers. And okay, what does he do? He buys you furs, he buys you diamonds, he takes you out once a week, he hires a babysitter, takes you out, he buys the roses, put the petals on the floor leading to the bedroom. We don't hear about that part. And if you haven't had that happen, you didn't marry up. You gotta pick and choose. You want romance? Marry a romantic guy. You don't marry a thug and be all like, man, we'll never have anything romantic happen. That's because you didn't marry up. Pick and choose. Anyway, you have enough to think about. I suggest you actually write everything down. And if you're not married, this is words to actually live by and tailor your life to. Yes, be conscious. Yes, your vagina is precious, and the stuff that comes out of it is precious. Your uterus, not your vagina. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.